Hey folks, today we're talking about the Big Pig game. I'm Tom Vasel, and some of you are going, we see the Big Pig. Yes, yes. This is a cooperative game in which you are all trying to eat together. It's a cooperative food eating game, but think of it as kind of a math game. This is definitely geared towards kids. It's the world of Big Pig from Evans Games. I'm not sure if this is like an IP or something. It looks kind of like an IP. It looks like a book or a cartoon or something. But anyway, here's how it plays. Big Pig, you're going to pick your difficulty level. Breakfast is the easiest, then lunch, then dinner. And when you take these, you're going to play with the board. And I'm showing the board here. And you have to kind of build these in. So first of all, this is time consuming to put these in. But these don't fit in very well. You kind of have to push them in. And as you're putting there, the whole thing, you're hoping that it doesn't just burst out. And when you need to take one out, you need to use your fingernails to get the first couple out. So just keep in mind, with no fingernails, you're not going to be playing this. The goal of this game is to cooperatively take all these pieces off. And you have a certain number of rounds to do it. This little board here, you're going to keep track. You're going to be moving along this board and landing on the house here. And so you have a longer time to do it in a single-player game, while in a four-player game, it's a much closer thing. Each player is going to take one of the animals here. So we have Big Pig, Lumpy Pig, Cecil, Scout, Cow, Yeti, Hedgie, Fat Chicken, Elephant, Rich Penguin. And you're going to get these 4 donut tokens, and you're going to be using these to take actions over the course of a round. When you look on the track, if there is not one of these, this means the bad pig doesn't do anything. Otherwise, you'll turn over a bad thing, and everyone has to do whatever that bad thing says. So this one says everyone has to get rid of an item in play and get rid of it. After you do that, you're then going to draw items that are equal to one more than the number of players in the game. And then, starting with one player, you'll be taking turns, and you'll place a donut on an action and do something. So I just put one here that says, take an item, then play a card. So I'll take a titanium spork. This is +2 hunger, but it's -1 to my hand size. My hand size, or flipper size, for the Rich Penguin's 2. So that seems like a bad one to take. How about I take the sugar packet? The next time you munch, gain +5 for that munch, and discard that sugar packet. Great. Now I have to play a card for my hand. So each player is going to have a handful of action cards, and so maybe I'll just play this yummy munch. So this says munch. Whenever you munch, you're going to look at your hunger. My hunger here is 3. You might have bonuses from items. Well, like the sugar packet, I now have 8. So I can eat anything here 8, but it says Rich Penguin gets +1 when he munches savory foods. So if I go into savory one, I can do 9. So I could eat the 9-piece lasagna, or I could take out a 5 and a 4, or a 6 and a 3, or whatever, combination is 9 or less. And then I take these and put them in my stomach. Now the reason I put them in my stomach is because in the future, when you play a card, you can always spend food tokens from your stomach to do here. This is a ravenous munch, which means when you take the piece, they're gone. But it's +3 hungry when munching a sweet food. So that can be pretty awesome. I can get really high numbers. And you'll notice the numbers here go up to 12. Although if you are, again, playing the breakfast one, they only go up to 10. So it's easier to get rid of these as you play that. And that's it. Most of these actions: play a card, play a card, play a card, or draw 2 cards, take an item, then play a card. After everyone has taken their 4 actions, you'll draw back up to your hand size. You'll put out more items. Some of the items will stay in play, like +3 hunger when munching healthy foods. This is +2 hand size. Sometimes it's just, you'll get one that's just a +1. A little fork is +1 hunger for everything that you do. And so you're trying to get rid of all these tiles before you get done on the timeline and get to the home. If you do that, you win. Otherwise, you lose. The game also comes with a very bad thing deck, which you can play if you, for some reason, want to lose the game. There are other things in the game, like you can give someone else a +4 or +6 token to help them eat. And that's pretty much how the game works. The components are an issue for me in this one, because putting together each of these boards, when you're done, you take all the boards off and you're taking the pieces off. And then if you're not careful, you'll end up with piles of different colored pieces. It can take a bit to sort these out. And even if they are sorted out, putting them back in the thing is not a quick thing. I'm kind of surprised that the game doesn't have you put them in rather than take them out, although that might be a pain. Like, see, the fact that they're too big for those things or just the right size is really weird to me. It should be easier to put them in those spots. The game itself is not a bad game. It's just basically, hey, what kind of numbers can I do? Where should I take something out of? I'm good at eating savory foods, so I'm going to take out the savory ones. It's a really good cooperative game for kids. They have to decide whether they should take the big number or two of the smaller ones, which will give them more tokens to be able to use when they use other cards, because all the different cards can be upgraded. So this table scrap card lets you take one food piece from any food out of play. That's pretty good. That's a good way to get rid of a 12. But if I spend 4 to upgrade it, I can take 2 out of a play. That's a really big deal. And so I like that concept. I think the cards are interesting. There's going to be luck with the cards. There's going to be luck with the items. And I'll tell you, I think getting the dinner one done is pretty difficult, because getting breakfast done is kind of close. It wasn't like that was an easy one to beat, but it definitely is easier, obviously, than lunch and dinner. The food pictures look good. The animals are cute. They each have a special ability, different hand size. It does take some getting used to not drawing immediately after you get rid of a card. You draw at the end of a round. And the different actions are different for each player, so you need to keep in mind on that. But if you're looking for a cooperative game for kids, this one's nice. I'd give it a 6. I'd love to give it a 7, but I have too many issues with the components to be really on that. I do want to mention one more rule that the game has, is that when you finish one of these, you get a bonus. And so they have some bonuses here, like the healthy bonus. Each player gets a munch. Start with a player who consumed the food and go clockwise. These are nice. It gives you a reason to finish one of the foods. But sometimes they also the player draws an action card for the remainder of the game, gets +1 hand size. That's not so useful, if you finish that one near the end of the game. But it's a cool concept. It feels different than most things out there. The theme is fun. Let's eat some food, and there's this bad pig going around. And I should mention the bad pig briefly also, because the bad pig sometimes will just really devastate you with the bad pig thing he has. There are some cards that say cancel what the bad pig is doing, but sometimes that's just, they're not there at the right time. So keep that in mind. But anyway, I give it points for originality. That's the Big Pig game. I'm the Big Pig, Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.